Happy New Year! The Wisemen Say podcast is back after a month long off season break. My word.
A well
Uh
needed.
yeah, it didn't help that Christmas and New Year's were on Wednesdays and we were with
Yeah.
family and doing a lot of things. I can't remember. I think one of us was out of town or something happened with one of us too. And man, it was just one of those. Let's reset and get right for the new year. But we're back and better than ever. Ty Fisher alongside Gerald Lucas, Derek Abbott. Fellas, first off, happy new year. How was it? Did we get any champagne in us for the new year? Did we dodge any gunshots like I did, or what happened? Not literally. I was inside the entire time.
Well, since you put it that way, there was a shooting right next to my apartment on New Year's Eve.
Oh, shoot.
It was actually one of the four that were reported that morning. Um, Literally at 5 o'clock in the morning on New Year's.
I think I heard about that one.
Yeah, right next to my building.
I remember hearing about these too. I
Yeah.
forgot about them, but now I remember hearing about them.
Yeah, I did too. I forgot about it, but I remember hearing about that one because I woke up to that from Citizen.
Yeah, we woke up and my wife was leaving to go do something, and she's taking the trash out with her on her way, and she calls me as she's outside, like, "Babe, it's a crime scene out here." I'm like, "What do you mean?" It's a crime scene. There's yellow tape. There's cruisers blocking off parking lots. I'm like, well, this is fun.
There goes the neighborhood.
Yeah. But it was a quiet New Year's Eve. Christmas was a little, somber with this being the first Christmas that my dad's not here. So yeah.
I didn't have any excitement like that.
I didn't
don't know
have
that I
any.
think about it,
Yeah.
and I'm aware.
I do have some good news though. All the tests came back that I am negative for this rare autoimmune disease called Castleman's. So they did find something in the parotid gland, which is your salivatory gland. And I just did a biopsy on that to make sure that it's not cancerous. So everything else is great.
That's good news, man. That's good news for the new year. I love to hear that.
I'm still fat and ugly, so
New year, new you, though, right? You still we're still early on in the year.
The year's already started going by quick. It's already the 21st of January.
That is crazy. I will say. I was just looking. Actually, I think it was today. That one, I think we're literally like maybe exactly to the day or very close to it from the first game of the season. And the Crew play a preseason game already on what's today? Wednesday, Friday, against Naples United FC, which is really close to where my parents live. I'm sure I mentioned it last year that we went down and they weren't playing at the time. They weren't at home, but where their house is very close to this complex where they're going to be playing it. And I guess they are allowing fans. It's not like a closed door thing. So I'm bummed I'm not going to be down there, but that type of timeline in general kind of blew my mind. I'm like, wow, we are literally almost in February. And it felt like New Year's was not that long ago.
Sorry, boys. I'm just trying to get this out so we can get some viewers.
I learned how to change the battery in my car last Wednesday when we were discussing. Was it Wednesday or Thursday? I don't remember. We were discussing going live then. And yeah, I hadn't. I mean, in full transparency, I didn't have I don't have to go into work a lot for my job. I just work a lot of times remotely, or a lot of times I'll use my wife's car because it's new and mine's really old. So I hadn't driven it in probably a month, maybe a month and a half. It's just been sitting on the side of the road and wouldn't start. Thing was just like deader than a doornail. Couldn't even jump it. Tried to jump it a few times, nothing. So I just said, screw it. And this was like when it was like single digits out and it was still slightly light out, and I had to go take the battery out. And I am not I could be a handyman in certain things, but certainly not automotive in particular. So I had to then go to one of the auto places, swap it out for a new one, come back, drop it in there. A lot of curse words were said, but it works. And I can tell you that it was like a jolt of energy when I started it up and it actually worked. It was like I don't know. There's like few things that I feel like you get like almost a high off of because like
Yeah.
like, did not have a lot of faith in yourself to be able to do, and that was one of them. And I was like, you know what, job well done. I patted myself on the back on that. But I hope to not have to do that again for a long time. They did say the battery that I had, for anybody who cares, was like 7 years old, so it lasts forever, which is fantastic. Just of course the winter time. So this is your public service announcement for anybody out there. If your car is starting slowly, especially with the upcoming weather that we're supposed to be getting this weekend, might be a good time to get that battery checked or get a new one sooner than later.
3 to 5 years is all good batteries are good for.
That part.
I think especially during the pandemic, I don't think I drove my car. I bet the total miles that I drove my car was probably under 100. So I think that probably helped with the battery lasting longer than it should. But this car's is 2010 also, so it's not like it's probably going to last forever at this rate. But
well, boys, preseason is officially underway down in, I believe they're in Bradenton, Florida. First off, before we even get into media availability from today with Henrik Rydstrom, Malde Amundsen, and Dylan Chambeau, what are we looking forward to this season? I mean, obviously, new coach, new players coming in, but most importantly, it's day one with Rydstrom in Florida with the guys. Just what are we looking forward to this season?
Exciting football.
Yeah, I would agree.
I mean, if you go and look, doing research on Henry, he plays a similar style, right? He coaches a similar style to what the team, is used to, right? And I think you'll see the 2023 style when we kick off against Portland. And just hearing him talk and seeing things, it sort of reminds me of that opening of preseason for 2023, with Wilford, right? It's going to be a jolt of lightning. It's going to be tactically aggressive, but it's also going to be beautiful. It's going to be like watching an artist paint, right? And I'm all for it. Honestly, Issa has said that the club has an identity now after Wilford coming in, and 3 years here, he's established an identity for Columbus, and Issa wanted to stay with that identity, and I applaud him for it, right? Because he could have been like, fuck this, let's go. Let's go, worry about this later, but let's go balls to the wall, attack, 10,000 miles an hour. and worry about, some of the other stuff later, right? No, he wanted to keep that identity, which you don't see a lot of teams in MLS have identities. You don't see that anymore. Like Jim Curtin's not there anymore. Steve Cherundolo is gone. Peter Vermees is gone. Right?
Red Bull's always doing the counter.
Exactly. Like, what is Michael Bradley going to do?
Mm-hmm.
With them now, right? I mean, Bruce Arena is still here. But other than that, like some of these, Porter's gone, right? Those were identity, style coaches. Everybody else is, their tactic, well, their identity changes based on the game, and the team that they're playing. When you got Columbus sitting here, like, we're going to play the same style no matter what. We could be getting beat, 5-0, but we're still going to play, the same style. And that right there, regardless if it's working or not, shows like the team has that identity.
Yeah, and it sounded like initially when he got announced, and I'll let you guys talk about since you were on the availability today, but when like prior to hearing him talk, when I was doing research on just like his style and everything, I mean, it seems like we are sticking with the identity of what we've been doing with Wilfried, but then also kind of a slight evolution to it or a slight tweak to it in terms of like, I don't know, for lack of a better term, a little more. It will probably appear to some people, at least initially, a little chaotic. There's like a method to the madness, it sounds like, but there's, once it gets going, and I think everybody kind of realizes what we're trying to do out of that, like to your point, I think you're going to see it as very like, this is watching like a professional do exactly what they want to do in this sense. So like really, crowding around and being able to do those counters off of it and then immediately create, a ton of space, like different stuff like that. And I like the idea that we already have a bunch of players that are going to be familiar with this style from Wilfried. And I don't know that we were really in a position based upon the kind of the time, really the timeline of the league, but also just where we were at, like with the players that we currently have and stuff. Like, I don't know that you could have easily just brought in somebody with a totally different style, went for it. But when you have a lot of really quality players already who are all under contract and understand that type of system, to get somebody to come in who has a similar approach, but maybe slight tweaks to it, I think just immediately is going to help the team. Like, I don't think my expectation is not for the team to feel like you're at a brand new, you just opened up a textbook to learn something brand new. Like they're going to, I think they're going to be able to adapt to this relatively quickly. It's my expectations, at least, on it. But, and I'm sure we'll get into it, but having some of the familiar pieces that we've either had in the past with Wilfried, from a coaching staff perspective, and then also just having players who are mature in this league that can understand and be able to kind of, anybody new coming in, they can also help kind of bridge that gap with them. So I'm really excited about that overall, and to see kind of, especially, whether it be Portland. I know the preseason, like, those results don't necessarily really matter because they're not trying to win those games as much as just implement different aspects to a system. But I'm excited to see kind of what this looks like on paper coming out of it, and knowing that, these players are learning something new. So if it doesn't go well right away, like Wilfried against Philadelphia, his first game, but seeing the building blocks that are already going to be there for what we should anticipate a few months into the season.
Jason on Twitter made a reply to, oh, by the way, I got the stream hooked up to my Twitter account, so we're live on Twitter on on my personal Twitter account, that is. But he said they need another center back or two, which is true. We do need another center back or two. I don't think the veteran, I mean, let me say, we have the veteran leadership in Rudy Camacho, right? but I don't think that is going to hold up well if he gets hurt again, right? Because then we're relying on Zawadzki, Morera, Amundsen, Shaberko, just 4 guys pretty much to play, 34, 35, 36 games this season with little to no rotation, especially if, Bangora were to go on loan somewhere, even though we just signed them, or he gets hurt and we have to move Zawadzki to center mid alongside Shambo. So I think he hit the nail on the head. I mean, we've been asking for center backs for what? A while
Ages.
now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ages.
So here's the hoping
for a
that
Holter.
here's the hoping that we get a center back or two in some sort of capacity, free agency, transfer window, whatever it is, right? Gerald, I'm interested to know your perspective on the opposition, right? How do we feel the opposition is going to kind of attack the Columbus Crew under Henrik Rydstrom right now?
So I'm gonna say this, real quick. We talked about it last year. The drop off of play, right? And I think Hendrik hit it on the head, the nail on the head today in media availability. He didn't really criticize, Wilfried, but he called it out. And the one thing the reason to me, and, I said it last year and I said a little bit of it in 24, was changing player positions, right? You started the players out in a specific position in 23, but then in 24, you started changing that around. And like Henrik said today, once you start doing that, you lose your structure. And you could sort of see that the structure of Nancy's system was gone last year, right? Because of having to move this player to here, this player to there, it was the experiment of the Swiss Army knife was fun to watch, right? With Sean, but at the same time, you took him out of his element. And it's and it didn't take really that long, but it's still, he's still progressing to be a center back, right? But at the same time, if the opposition is hearing what, Henrik is saying, and some of their some of the opposition fans are hearing that it's almost similar to, a Wilfried Nazi system, they're going to come out and try to keep Columbus on the wings. Because Henrik said today he likes to play everything in the middle, right? Because if you're attacking all together in the middle, then that can open up different things. So they're going to try to keep Columbus spaced out, try to get them to use the wings, and attack the counter press, because let's all face it, the counter press last year sucked. It absolutely sucked. And that hurt us, right? That hurt the team, because look how many damn goals we gave up.
Yeah.
Look how many, one-on-ones, 1v1s that Schulte had to face, because our counter sucked when we lost the ball, right? We didn't really have a counter press. And I think that's one of the things that Henrik said that, to work on. And then also, too, everybody knows we don't have height. We're not, everybody knows that we don't crowd the box on set pieces. And he touched on that today, right? Where, you got to capitalize on set pieces. You got to attack the box more. And I think that's what the opposition is going. If they give up a set piece, they know we're either going to go quick or we're going to go wide to get it to the winger, who's going to try to get it crossed back in. And before anybody says anything, yes, we do got some damn finishers on the team. We have Abu Ali, we have Jason. We still got fucking Aliu.
For anybody who's like listening or watching who's new, you'll learn very quickly who Gerald's favorites, and I shouldn't say favorites, but I say who he's a little more jaded on, wants to see more from.
I'm gonna say this: it's a new year. I'm gonna see what he could do coming out of this camp. If by May I don't see any damn improvement from last year, he got to go in the summer. He got to go, or don't pick up that damn option again. But we got Herrera back, which I can't wait. Like, he has shown that he can be, that attacking winger, right?
Absolutely.
Just let him be him. Let him be him. And then the emergence of, Dylan last year.
Especially at the end of the season, he was starting to make a lot more of an impact.
Yep. And then we got Baby Matan coming in. Damn, I can't even remember his name now.
Picard.
Hugo Picard.
Yeah. Captain Picard.
The captain, yeah.
We got Baby Matan, on, looking to, improve like he did last year. Because I don't know what it was about him, but it looked like he did a 2.5 mile long line of coke just the way that he ran around the damn, pitch last year.
Yep.
You talk about he's there, he's here, he's every fucking way. That was Hugo.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I think that's what the opposition is going to do. Is they're going to try to keep Columbus to the side. Because a lot of teams, see this roster and they see the potential, but they know that if they start cooking in the middle, like the little skit goes, on a scale of 1 to 10, my friend, you're fucked.
What I hope is that to your point, I mean, again, I think we can all agree that it really felt like last year, the year before a little bit, there was a few teams that you could tell were starting to figure out Nati's system and how to maybe like counter it. But last year was definitely pretty obvious that most teams had a pretty good game plan going into games. Not always were they able to execute that. But I mean, overall, we weren't fooling a lot of people with what we were trying to do. My hope is that these teams hear that it's a pretty similar system and therefore approach it that way. And then when we start to see those wrinkles and a little bit of that additional aspect of the overall formation, game plan, style, all of those things that inevitably is going to be brought to the table, that we can kind of catch them off guard a little bit. Because I think to your point, when he's kind of talking about it's a very similar system, your first thought is just like, okay, well, we're going to approach it the same way. And then they're going to have to prove that they can do something different, even with a new coach, because a lot of the players are relatively the same. But I think there's a lot of room for, a lot of room for improvement, but also to capitalize on some of the strengths, like you said, that we've seen, some of the players that have really started to emerge. I don't know, because you're going to have Herrera in there also. If you'll get a healthy Mo Farsi back, but again, I don't know how he's going to slot in when you've got a Herrera who played so well. If they're going to make some adjustments to that, the defense, everybody should be healthy, but how long that lasts is yet to be seen, because we've seen it for 2+ years now, that hasn't really been something that we've been able to rely on from a long-term perspective. But when you've got some of these other players, I think, and we haven't really touched on it, but like Abu Ali, we only saw him for what, 3 games last year? I mean, three,
Six. I
four.
think it was 6.
Was it 6 overall?
I
I thought it was
I
less than
think
that.
so. I did a preview with Bob V from I-80 Sports the other day, and I believe it was like he's had 3 goals in like 5 or 6 games.
Oh, okay.
So,
But I
and
mean,
that
he's
was
almost like I mean, you'd almost have more to go off of watching him in that,
mhm.
the Gold Cup, or what was the I forget what it was, Club
The
World
FIFA
Cup.
Club World Cup.
Yeah, the
Yep.
Club World Cup run. Like, you'd almost have to go back and watch that type of tape to really get an idea of what you, as an opposing team, like what to expect from him, even for us,
Yeah.
because we've only seen such a small sample size. So I'm excited for that as well. So I think some of these pieces that performed really well or coming back off of injury, like, I know we didn't add a ton of people in the off season, but I feel like you're almost adding people because you, some of these players you didn't see a lot of last season to begin with, and they're high quality players, at least from what we have seen in the past.
Do we think Herrera beats out Farsi for a starting 11 spot this year?
No.
It's a new coach. If it was Nancy, I would have said no, probably.
I don't think he does. I think it's going to be a tough call to kick off the season, but I think, with Mo being healthy this offseason, recovering from the surgery and getting back in the swing of things, I think he comes in as a sub at the Portland game, but then after that, I think Mo goes back to being the starter, just to shake off that game rust.
Mm.
Because I say it all the time. You could be, fresh on the pitch, but if you haven't played in an actual game in a while, you're gonna be rusty as hell, and you're gonna, second guess, yourself, right? So I think Mo gets that, gets the starting spot back. But it really is kind of hard with how well Herrera did. Maybe we see a package with both of them on there.
That's what I'm wondering, because I've seen some people question what type of formation we will be rolling out, but I haven't seen. I mean, we haven't seen anything yet to really give us an idea if it's going to change at all.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be interesting in the next few weeks, what we hear from either people who are able to go see them, or people who, if we play some friendlies up here, wherever. I mean, I know it's just tough in this type of preseason, especially now, the past few years. I mean, they've all been closed doors. I mean, I remember a time when like you could watch some grainy footage of us playing Phoenix Rising over in, the West Coast, but we haven't really had that in a few years, or even the Charleston Battery and like stuff like that. So it'll be interesting to see if we end up finding out there's a change of formation, because if there is one, then that is where I could see them doing. I love the idea of trying to get them both out there in certain formations, but it's probably too early to tell. And I mean, I think to your point, Gerald, it's getting him up to speed, but I mean, you probably still would go off of the experience first, at least, and to see if he's still, has the full gear. I mean, he was gone for almost an entire year, more or less, at this point. So it's probably the right move starting off.
Sorry, my GTA characters got hit by a car.
What?
Yeah, my GTA characters got hit by a car. So, as far as expectations for the Columbus Crew, realistic, and we'll just be realistic. What are the realistic expectations that we have for the 2026 Columbus Crew this season?
Top 4.
I can get behind that actually.
Okay. I
That's
think that the East is going to be really tough again.
No.
You don't
It's
think
not.
so?
I mean, we all know who number one's going to be because whatever, right? Of course they are.
We could spend an entire half-day episode on that.
Phillies dropping to the bottom.
Yes, that's true. I would agree.
Unfortunately, I have to say our little sister down south, with all the wooden spoons, they'll be in they'll be right there, fighting for that mix.
Think so? I feel like they're going to drop a little bit from last year.
They'll be fighting for a spot in the top 4.
Okay.
I see Nashville will definitely be in the top 4. I'll say Charlotte will be fighting for a spot in the top 4.
Even without Ajimong?
I think the way that Dean Smith, coaches, I think that, they still have Pep Beal.
Brother.
I think they have Kerwin Vargas still. They have Tim Ream is still there.
There we go.
They have a couple other, contributors. Was Ashley Westwood is still there. So I mean, they still got some contribute. I think they'll be fighting. They'll probably get into that 4th spot. Now 2 and 3, that's where we're gonna be fighting for like the 2nd or 3rd spot.
Mm-hmm.
I even look for Atlanta to be, up there.
Really?
And not up in the top 4, but like they're between 4th and 6th. And
Okay.
I'm even gonna go out there and say this too. Even New England. They've made a bunch of changes.
That's what I was thinking about Atlanta. That was kind of my thought on Atlanta, was that they've made changes. I just don't know what to think about the change. Like, I don't really.
They got Tata Martino,
right?
One of the best tactical coaches in Tata Martino, and they have it. Right. And I can't forget about Berhalter too. With Chicago. Chicago has done some. Jesus Christ.
Now, I think that's a team, and I know revision. I'm going back in time a tad bit, but when we had our friend from Chicago on last season, I think it was before the 1st or 2nd game, and we had a whole big long discussion, and he was pretty adamant that they were going to be good. I was not on board with that at all, but they turned out to be pretty good, way better than what I would have anticipated. I think they're going to be up there in the mix. They just, they've exceeded my expectations. I don't know about their own fans, but I have no reason to think they won't continue to be at that level at minimum, if not better now.
Well, let me ask this: is the new format of season that starts after the World Cup this year, right?
What is it again?
The new format, does that start after the World Cup this year?
The schedule change?
Yes.
Yes.
After this season.
Yeah, after
mini season.
Okay.
Yeah. In
next
February.
Spring, yeah. So like this time next year will be the start of a really small mini season, the best way to put it.
14 games, if I remember correctly.
And then we start in the European calendar in August that year.
Yeah.
after that.
Because I remember that mini season is going to be for seeding for Leagues Cup.
Of course.
That's what they said. Like, but that mini season is going to have an asterisk.
Oh, unless we win it, then I'm taking the asterisk right off.
Yeah, take
Throwing it
that
right in
away.
the Olentangy.
Putting a 4
I'll
star
take
on
that.
the.
I do not care. Give me the star. I do not care. But you're right. The second that somebody else wins it, I fully admit right now, I'll be the first one to say that's a Mickey Mouse championship, doesn't count. But yeah, it'll be interesting for sure.
But I will say this: Columbus might have a chance to win Supporter Shield this year.
Whoa.
Well, the reason why, and hear me out.
I think I know where you're going with this.
Look how many players from Inter Miami is going to be in the World Cup.
And they're in every tournament. Like we were a few years ago, right? I mean,
they're in Champions Cup, they're in Leagues Cup, they're in
Are they in the Open Cup also?
No, I think
no.
it would be their B or 2 teams.
Next part.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
They're in Campeones Cup, right? On top of the 34 games, season with the World Cup. They're going to be, even though we're going to be all, MLS is taking a pause for the World Cup. We're still, a lot of their team is going to be gone. Mm-hmm. So as soon as they're done playing in the World Cup, guess what picks? Right, they're jumping right back into Leagues Cup.
And that's a lot of traveling. That's not easy. We're not talking about just domestic traveling. I mean, you're doing a ton of international traveling for that too.
But not for Leagues Cup.
Oh, never mind. But they're in the CONCACAF, whatever the heck it's called. Every time I forget it. Right?
That's before the World Cup. So you're telling me they start the season, they play the CONCACAF, games. Mm-hmm. If they get as far, as the final, they're playing that final right before they go to World Cup. Right? So their players look how old their team is.
Yeah.
They've gotten rid of a lot of their young talent to bring in some of these grandpa superstars, into MLS, which I bring them all in if you want, right? Bring them in. Mm-hmm. If they can stay healthy, cool. If they not sitting there have to take, cortisone shots before just to, get out there to practice, and take 3 days for your knees to start working right. Right. So, I mean, it's one of those things where by the time the end of the season happens, they might be out of gas.
Yeah. I mean, we saw that with us the following year after we won and we were in all those tournaments, and that was not World Cup involved. We didn't even have that, let alone our age was nowhere near where they're at. I mean, it's a great point, and I don't think you're going to see a lot of the larger MLS accounts in media and talking head people talking about it, because that's not a narrative that they necessarily want to put out there for that team and the overall, light that they want shown on MLS as they continue to try to help grow it via their platforms. But I mean, I think it's a really good point, and it's something that we definitely want to keep an eye on, especially like now that you've said that, it makes me a little more positive about the idea that they could contend for a shield. And I saw Connor put on here too about like, how long do you think until the MLS goes full European and most points wins the league? I don't know. My opinion, I don't see them doing that because I think they've already said they're going to break down into divisions like they do in the NFL. That's the best example I can think of, where it's like regional divisions, and you're going to get to go into a playoff based upon that. Maybe I misread that, or maybe that was more of just a floated around idea. I would find it hard to believe. I mean, I guess they could just go do that for sure. I mean, that would be an easy thing for them to do eventually. But I do feel like I think this is a lot more of an American league or American sports thing, but like everybody really holds the idea of a playoff very valuable. Whereas I think just the league being over after all of those, after everybody plays each other, that's the difference too. I think is right now it doesn't look like they're going to move to everybody playing each other, which you would need to have happen. I don't know. Personally, I get into some of the other leagues like EPL champion. I like Champions League just because it's a giant tournament. I like EPL. I have a team. I follow them. But there is a part of it, like right now, if you're following it, I think it's Arsenal's kind of running away with it. And in a lot of the years, someone just kind of runs away with it. I don't know personally, and it's probably because I'm over here and I'm not like born and raised on a specific team. I just adopted one years ago, but I kind of lose interest a little bit, which I don't want to lose interest in a team in a league unless your team's just performing really bad. Obviously, at that point, it's very easy to fall off and not pay as much attention. But even if you have something like divisions and your team is doing kind of good and still has a chance to make the playoffs, you're going to be watching all the way through. You're going to be excited as a fan. And I think that is generally, you need more fans in order to grow a sport overall. I think you continue to have more investment. And even the current setup where now we have an additional spot to get in, like even if your team's not performing very well, but you're kind of near that line, you're still very invested on what your team's going to do overall. So I think that ultimately it's certainly something they could do, and I'm still going to follow the Crew no matter what if they do that. But I think it'd be short-sighted just to align with what everyone else does just because they all do it. And we're doing that with the schedule. We'll see what happens. I don't remember what the schedule lays out, but I'm just imagining in my head, like if we had a game this Saturday or this Sunday, and if you live in Ohio and like central Ohio or southern Ohio, and like the word about the amount of snow and like how cold it's going to get, that would be absolutely miserable. So, I think that there's definitely pros and cons to just immediately doing what the other leagues are doing. But I would find it hard to believe, but I should not be surprised about anything that this league does overall when it comes to trying to elevate itself to the next level. That was a very long-winded answer. My apologies.
See, I'm one of those guys that will love to be in the cold for a soccer game.
Orange
I'm
soccer
gonna be hyped for it when it happens for sure.
Yeah.
But there'll be a certain point in time, I'm sure, where I'm gonna be like pretty miserable.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But I'll be there. Admittedly.
No matter what, I'll be there. And if I have pneumonia a day later, you know why? It's all because I was cheering on the Columbus Crew against those clowns from down south.
If work or something is the next day, I am sending the contact information for the Columbus Crew to my manager, supervisor, whoever, and saying, talk to them. It's their fault, not mine.
So
it's their fault.
They
gave us Buck of Broughtonite on Hell is Real, and they dragged my ass out there.
Now oh man.
So, you don't think so Derek, you don't think that, it will happen where it goes to, all?
I think they could. I don't think they would do it right away.
Happens. I think it does.
You think right away?
I think because look who's leaving. Garber's leaving.
Who's the successor? Do we know yet on that?
We don't know yet. They've already hired a firm to look for his successor.
It'll be somebody like internal probably, and they'll pay money to a firm to find that person for them.
I think if they find the right one to bring change, I think we go to the, most points wins the league, which I love that because then now you're talking about, now you're talking about everybody gets to play everybody, right?
Yeah.
And especially going to a European, schedule like Premier, you play in the fall, you take a break. You got there's 30 teams, so you'll play 15 games in the fall, 15 games, 15 games in the spring to crown the winner, right?
I think, okay. So now I'm thinking about this a little bit more. Let's just roll with me here on
Because
this.
then you could throw in all the different tournaments,
Yeah.
right? And so because you're not playing, you could have a league game one Saturday and tournament games during the week.
As somebody
We
who
already
watches
do
from
that with
afar,
Leagues Cup.
I know, but like even that, I don't know how invested people really are in those things. Like we won Leagues Cup, and that was like, I mean, we weren't in the position that I thought we were probably going to win the championship, so I was excited about that. But ultimately, I don't know if you polled like most people, do they really care about Leagues Cup? Ultimately, I don't think so. We're not hanging
They
a
care
Leagues
about.
Cup banner on the stadium.
We did.
Like, did we? Is there
We
a
did?
Leagues Cup one up there?
I think there was.
If there is
I
one, that goes to
No.
show how much I care about it, because I did not even know that.
Wait. No.
I thought it was just Leagues Cup or MLS and the
There's
Shield.
Shield, MLS Cup, Open Cup.
There's
Oh,
also,
I
I
didn't.
think, the Campeones Cup too.
No.
Oh
I
my
could have
god,
swore there's a sign for Campeones Cup.
that's even crazier to me that they would put that up there. I don't. Okay, while he's looking that up, I'm just saying that like those tournaments, even like watching my EPL team, I do not like. I'll watch sure if they're in the finals or something, but like to watch, it's not an easy thing to track from a casual person. So now you're really relying on people who to be really diehard, which I don't think that they've necessarily catered to a lot of the like diehard fans, which is understandable. They're trying to expand it, but that's a lot to try to get. And this is probably more of just like the American mind when it comes to soccer. It's a lot to try to get people like really on board with all that. And I think going back to the conversation or the idea about the all the points or but most points or whatever wins. I think the one wrinkle that we're not talking about, and I don't necessarily like, I'm not trying to open this can of worms, so I'm just putting it out there, and we can certainly like table it for another time. But I think the one thing that keeps people interested who might be on those fringe teams that are sometimes in the top 5 or the top 10, but not always, is the relegation aspect of it. And I know, right? Like that's not necessarily like I know how that's going to go. There's a lot people are very strongly one way or the other on that. But that is the type of thing that gets you excited if you're at the middle of the table and you're fighting for your life. You're from an attention, standpoint. And maybe all of this is we have salary caps and the other leagues don't necessarily, like maybe you have to have those in order to make it work, so there's a little more parity involved.
Mhm.
But I just don't love the idea because let's say we did it right now or last year or something, and you have these super teams like Miami. What kind of investment are we really going to have ultimately, like as a fan? Like it would get to a point where we would all be like really frustrated because of the mechanisms that are in place for some of these teams. And again, this is another topic for another day, but you've a lot of people defending them and, on the MLS higher upside of things. But I think most people feel like pretty negatively about how that's all kind of going. And I think if you were to like really parse that out and like these most recent 3 years, let's say it was last year, this year, and next year, I think that people would be pretty annoyed by that. I think you'd have a lot of negative reaction to that type of setup. Again, this is all my opinion, and they could 100% go that way, like you said, Gerald. If they bring in the right person who thinks that that's the best way to go, like it certainly could happen.
Because I just feel like, if it happens like that, then like you can prioritize Open Cup, right? You can get the eyes on the Open Cup. You could get onto that because they start playing qualifying rounds for the Open Cup for like the lower tier leagues. They start playing that in September.
Mm-hmm.
They start doing qualifying in September, October. Which, by the way, if anybody's interested, it's not that hard to get a team put into the Open Cup.
Now that would be something.
It's $2,000. I think it's $2,000 entrance fee. You have to be a part of a league that plays at least 10 games and has at least 5 teams in the league.
Huh.
But it's like either two. I think it's like between $2,000 and $5,000.
I mean, that is a threshold that I would have never guessed. I would have thought it was way more than that. A lot more parameters. There's probably a rec league somewhere around Columbus that already meets that. Now, I don't know if they do it. It would be cool to hear if they were going to try to get into it. But in general, I'm sure there's a local league that you could find that would be.
That's how the burrito team got in.
I was going to, now that you said that, I'm like, it has to be how that team, because how else would that team have gotten
El Farolito?
Instead of a t-shirt toss at halftime, they're doing burrito tosses. But let's go.
That'd be awesome. Someone gets whacked with one. I mean, it probably wouldn't be light to get just drilled in the head by a burrito. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, ultimately, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, right now, I do not feel like they're really prioritizing that U.S. Open Cup, so I don't know if that would be the first one on their list. But it's an interesting point because, again, if we're looking at from the European model, I'm probably not the best person to really put 1 and 1 to that, just because, or maybe I don't know, maybe is not knowing as much about it. I would be, but I don't know that I'd prioritize these other tournaments, even if we were in them. If our team was 15th in the league standings, I'm I guess you could be yeah, cool. We're going to win Open Cup. And we will end up getting into that discussion about Open Cup at some point in the season about its importance or not importance to each individual fan and all of that. But I don't know. I would not right now. I feel like MLS Cup. I'm yes, we have a chance to win that. We're good. That's what I'm striving for. I don't want to lower my expectations to just Open Cup or Campeones or leagues or whatever, except for the CONCACAF one. Get that out of here. I don't ever want to be involved with that one again.
Really?
No, man.
I like the CONCACAF Champions Cup.
They're working on what happens every time the MLS team has to go down there for the championship. We all know the end result. It's never good.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. I just think I like it because it makes continental soccer more intriguing across from America, Canada, Mexico, Honduras, all the
Caribbean.
Yeah, Caribbean, all the Latin America, Central America, and everything like that. All those teams, I think because you see teams that you never even heard of from Jamaica, from Honduras, El Salvador, Panama, and it's holy crap.
You could tell I'm not bitter at all about 2 years ago.
Well, look what also they're trying, CONCACAF and CONMEBOL is trying to work on, is getting MLS teams into was it the Copa de Libertadores down there in South America?
Who's usually involved? I feel like I've heard of that one.
It's the no, that was Copa America. Never mind.
Is that like a current one they're doing?
It's like
been around.
Yeah, it's more so like the Argentine teams. Like you have River Plate, San Lorenzo, Boca Juniors.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
New Old Boys.
Yeah.
All right, listen, I'm just bitter still. I'm okay. If we get back into it, I'll be locked in. I'll be watching it. I say all these things. I'm not going to not watch. Just still angry.
That damn Buck of Brat night on Champions Cup night on a Tuesday.
Jesus.
Gosh darn it. Why are we playing Monterrey on a Tuesday on Buck of Brat night? Dollar beer against
I still contend.
Cruz Azul or something like
bring that stuff back, but I still contend.
I think it was dollar beer for Tigres and the Buck of Brat for Monterrey.
Gosh darn it. Student night against Club America on a Thursday afternoon.
Right.
Something like that.
I still got the Clash for the Continent poster that they gave at the watch party.
Oh, I haven't been in any of the watch parties.
For CONCACAF.
Was it inside of Condados or was it at the outside?
Chase Plaza.
Was it?
Yeah.
I always I sign up for the tickets and then I don't know why I never end up going. I just watch at home, but I need to get out to one of those.
Gosh,
nicer weather.
Damn it.
Gosh darn it, Derek.
Damn it.
I mean the final was hotter than hell.
Yeah, there was a few of those where I was contemplating that I saw the temperature and was like,
yeah.
And I don't feel like baking outside today. I'll just watch inside.
I went to the final, the one against Pachuca, and I was with some of the ODU boys, and oh my god, it was hotter than the Hades outside.
And then it started to sprinkle.
Yeah, it was just stupid.
And it just just ultimate misery. The double combo
sucked. Oh, then, bro, this is typical Ohio summer weather.
True.
Doesn't know what the hell it wants to do. Boys, anything else we want to touch on before we wrap it up?
What if, just some of the different, players that have been on the move this year.
In MLS in general?
In MLS in general.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell Philadelphia is doing, but hey.
Oh yeah, we've been talking about that. That's right.
I'm here for it.
And then now you got St. Louis, possibly shipping out Klaus.
That's all. That's pretty much done deal. Yeah. Well, yeah, because LA is moving on from Ricky Pooch.
I mean, he also is out with an ACL injury again.
Yeah. Setback from that. If he's out for the freaking year. They're definitely going to be moving on from Ricky Pooch. So that would free up a DP spot because he's on, I think it's long-term IR, which frees up a DP spot. So, I mean, makes sense. Now they're going to move Christian Ramirez to a 10 spot. Dude doesn't play a 10 to save his life, but.
Hey, if it ever comes down to it, maybe we can get him mid-season if we need him.
I do not believe this. I do not believe this at all.
I saw that too. I did see that.
Really?
Tom Bogert put it out. Yeah, I saw it on Instagram. He said that. Yep.
What in the?
And they turned it down right away, I think, too.
Well, yeah.
Like he wants a new contract from LAFC. But
Connor, I totally forgot about this.
I was bringing it up anyways. But no, like he wants a new contract with LAFC. And so when Miami offered him 13, LAFC said, kick rocks.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
I see it now. I didn't see this earlier.
You want to talk about a collective league fan base's meltdown if that would have happened. 1,000,000%. Everyone would
my God,
collectively lost their minds.
Yeah, 100%.
And they would have boycotted the team.
Oh, yeah.
You know, but then also there's another team that's made some moves this off season that
Okay,
they're
look, can I guess?
making.
Can I guess who you're going to say?
Who?
Do you think that they're improving with these moves?
I actually do.
All right, I'm going to guess Toronto.
No,
Fair enough.
Houston.
I haven't been paying as much attention to them.
Houston went and got back Hector Herrera,
Oh, I did see that.
and they just signed Bogusz.
Okay.
So but they also made a couple other moves too. I can't remember who else, but they started. They're look like they're trying to become a threat now in the West,
I mean, that's not an
right?
easy place to play for any teams. I mean, I feel like they have a pretty solid home field advantage typically down there. So, I mean,
But
getting
Toronto did make some moves though. I'm not
oh,
going to take that away from them.
and if the rumored one to get oh my gosh, how am I blanking on his name?
Josh Sargent.
Sargent, which I know Sargent has been playing well necessarily for was it Norwich City? Is that it? He hasn't been playing as well for them, but I mean, from an MLS perspective, if they were able to get him, like, I think that would be a pretty solid move by them to continue to, on paper at least, elevate their team from what they were last year, even the year before, was not very good.
Yeah, and I hate to say it too, but the Broccoli Barcodes, they've made some moves too there with their team.
Facu Torres.
Yeah,
I did see that.
Holy nuts! Yeah.
So I mean, maybe he who shall not be named, decided to open up the checkbook, or it might be Matthew McConaughey. But
I
I mean,
have no
there you
idea, but I
got
have more
guys,
faith in McConaughey putting in the money than he who shall not be
and
named.
watch out for Colorado. Colorado they got a new head coach, right? They started bringing in some players, so Colorado's going to be a sneaky one in the West.
We should do this
Minnesota, I
next
think
week.
Minnesota's just fell off.
Let's do this next week. Let's at some point have a discussion about some of these like dark horse teams, because I could think of a few also that, like, I'm not saying they're going to win their conference or anything, but like or division, I forget what the heck we are even calling them right now, but I think could sneak into playoffs that maybe like wouldn't necessarily, or at least be better than what they were last year. So I think there's a lot of teams that seem to be really focused on improving that last year I wouldn't have said that about.
And I got one more thing. For all these other teams that are not in like Miami or New York or Texas or LA or Chicago, as they call it, small market teams, look how much Kansas City just sold for. I think it was 800 million is what they just sold for. Which is possible, they might, if it's the minority owner, I think it's Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, really? I think he has a stake in their I forget what the league's called. The women's league.
NWSL.
Yeah, NWSL.
He's got that. He's also got a
does.
stake in the Kansas City Royals. And also in, Sporting KC. But also the Kansas City Chiefs are leaving Missouri.
Yeah.
They're actually going to Kansas City, Kansas, because they're going to be building a brand new stadium.
Yeah, guys, let's just move 0.3 miles away.
Hey, the Bears are moving out of Chicago and moving to Gary, Indiana. So, I mean, anything's possible.
I'll believe that when I see that.
Oh, why'd I
not
do that?
Secretly rooting on that or anything. I was going to recently play. Connor over here trying to break news. What is this?
No, I've seen that.
I've seen that, but I don't know if that's like.
Is that the one that there's another team or two that are also going after him?
I
Is that the
think
same one?
so, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's some teams that have
I mean, I would like it.
made
Let's
some,
do it. We can make it happen.
there's some teams this year that's made some.
Yeah, Manny says, can't wait to see our team with 8 players on one side of the pitch and using escapers. Yes, 100%. Wait. Oh, Escaleras. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, I'm excited for this.
Yeah, I think people are going to be a little shell shocked if that is if they come out guns a blazing on how I think that he's going to try to do it. I think people are going to be like, "What is happening?"
Oh yeah, 100%. We're just gonna have like
before that happens, we're going to need to really prep anybody who's like listening or watching to be like, "Listen, I think you're going to be a little surprised at first, and if it doesn't go well the first game, please do not want to fire the coach." Even though you know inevitably something like that, people will.
Derek. This fan base will be wanting to fire the head coach after a absolute thriller of a match, and one mental mistake will cost us a 1-0 loss to Cincinnati in the 98th minute of 9 in the first leg of the Hell is Real derby. They would want to fire him right on the spot. Come on now. You got to realize you got to realize what this fan base is.
We're still in preseason. I got to remember, once I really get ingrained into the crew social media
Don't
fan
do
base.
it. Don't do it.
I'm not going to get into the mud of like commenting on people's stuff, but I will definitely end up finding it in my algorithms to get a good pulse of what's going on.
You don't want that, because the minute you get,
it's inevitable.
You start getting,
it is inevitable.
But once you start getting that, you'll start reading some of the comments, and it will get you to that point where you're like this at the keyboard, and you're like, you have something typed out, and you're like, you know what? I'm just going to delete this draft. I'm like, no, I'm not.
Oh,
no.
I've done that a million. I know what you're saying. Yeah, I've definitely typed out some responses and been like, what am I doing? I needed to get that out, but now I need to delete it and not send it.
Yeah, no.
I see Manny said Abu Ali will score 20 goals and we'll make a U.S. Cup run. I can see it.
That'd be nice.
I said he'd probably go north of 25 goals this season. Whoa. When I did the preview with Bob.
But I will also tell you
25 or 30 goals.
I welcome it.
I will also tell you this: Jason Russell gets 15 goals this year.
All right, we're gonna do a predictions episode for sure, right? And then we're gonna do some predictions like this, and then we need to save them. And we also this year we're gonna be doing the each week.
Yeah, predictions table thing. Yes,
we were doing pretty good last year. I wasn't as good, but you two in particular and Gerald went on a heater of like picking exact scores and things like that. So we will definitely be doing that.
Okay, here's what's going to happen. Gerald, I'm going to say it for you. After we beat the Timbers, when we play Chicago Fire, Gerald's going to predict a 5-1 win for the Columbus Crew.
Set it in stone.
No.
6-0.
Yep.
See, there it is.
Because we're at home.
Not wrong.
That's also very true.
We are at home when it comes to playing Chicago and Atlanta, like opening home games for Christmas. For some reason, it's like 5 to 7 goals.
Yeah.
You know, but no, I'll more likely do something more realistic this year for Christmas. But no, I think he gets anywhere between 10 to 15 goals this year. Because I tell you what, watching that international friendly with Canada's national team, he looked like he was out there having fun again. And the last time we saw him having fun, he ran away with the Golden Boot in Next Pro.
That'd be nice.
You know, I think it was like 21 or 22 goals that he scored for, in the inaugural year for Next Pro. But I mean, he was out there having fun, and just his diving header that he had, it looked like when he dove for it, he turned his body at the same time to sort of, give it a little bit of extra, nudge. But he's out there having fun,
Maybe a
and
new coach invigorates him and gets him with us, kind of continuing that streak.
Ty, I told you that before in 23. I think it was in 23 or 24, when we've seen the team out there having fun on the field. They're the most dangerous team. Yeah, it was 23 with
23.
Diego, Pucha, and Christian, when they were all out there having fun. When it looked like, and you see Steven laughing and smiling, you see Mo, you see Cooch, you saw everybody like laughing, right? And they were out there having fun. They were the most dangerous team in the league. Nobody wanted to play Columbus.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, if these boys get back to that mindset and that feeling and going out there and having fun, boys, I think we're getting a 4-star. And we might even win Open Cup.
I like that optimism right there.
What's the future on that?
On
Manny.
Open Cup?
No, on MLS Cup.
I'll tell you right now.
That's what I'm about to look up too.
Manny asked if they were streaming the friendly on Friday.
I don't think so.
I follow the Naples one just because it's close to my parents. And I've been meaning to go to a game when I'm down there visiting them. If they are, it will not be on the crew one. I can't imagine, but I would check maybe like the Naples teams, like Facebook, or I don't know if they have a YouTube page, but like probably Facebook potentially. But outside of that, they're not a very big team. I mean, I hear that they're like facilities like pretty nice and it's actually popular, so they're expanding it. But I mean, it's pretty small. So I think your best bet is probably to see if somebody's like streaming it on their own, who might be like a crew fan down there. But outside of that, I'd be a little surprised. But maybe on their Facebook page or something like that.
Yeah, I don't like these odds.
So what do you have?
I have, well, for us, it's plus 1,700.
On what?
MLS Cup winner on FanDuel.
Fanatics has us at plus 5,000.
Fuck, I'd take that.
That's crazy.
So $10 would win you $500.
They got Philadelphia on FanDuel at plus 1,500.
I'm telling you what, man. Sometimes last year I'd be making some bets, and some of the player like props, like I just don't think that a lot of these have very good grasp on like MLS in particular, because they were sometimes putting players on there that weren't even like they were
in the starting 11 and on the bench.
Yeah, they occasionally had some people that weren't even on our team yet, but have been like announced. Like you got to really pay attention, because I think they're probably getting some money off of some people who are like really casual and have just heard like a name or two here or there. But there's probably a few good ones, but there are a lot of them out there that like I wouldn't really mess around with for MLS.
To win the East, right? They have
Be
Philly
smart.
at plus 750.
Be smart, Connor. Be smart about it.
Don't do it.
I mean, bad idea. Yeah, but if you get into it, be smart.
Be
absolutely smart about it.
10-cent bets.
You could do.
Yeah. What's the worst that happens? 10 cents. Wow. Ooh, I lose.
I do it all the time.
Well, yeah. I know. I know that. I know you do it. I know you do. I'm gonna start doing that too.
Set like a mental amount, regardless of how much you win. Set a mental amount about you. Like just mentally tell yourself, I'm not going to go over this amount unless they give you like a free bet or something. Like I have a free bet right now that I haven't used that is way more than I ever would normally bet, but for some reason I have no idea how I got it. And I'm even looking at like I don't know what I would use this on, because I obviously want to try to win something. But like, regardless of if you won $500 or $5, keep that amount, that whatever you would normally bet. Like, bet what you can if you're going to do it, not just chase the win, because that's a recipe for disaster.
Don't worry, we will make betting smart this year, guys.
Yeah,
we will make betting smart this year, smart and safe.
I mean, I just have a 16-leg parlay with all the MLS games for 10 cents, and it's like
I will not be doing that.
I usually will do like 6 to 8 of them, but I bet like $1.
I'll
I mean,
do 4.
Yeah, so like
well,
if you
I
do that,
do the 10 cent. Well, also like I mix some of them up. Like I'll do straight out, and then I'll do double chance on like I'll do straight out,
oh yeah,
straight up, double chance, straight up. Put 10 cent on it, and you're walking away with like 200,000 on a
and
16
to
leg
like
parlay.
we could go into a whole thing about this, but like you could do these longer parlays, and if you start hitting a few of them, I mean, I think it's kind of underrated. I don't think people like who are betting smaller amounts really look at it a lot, but if you do like 4 to 16 games and you just keep an eye on it, if you hit a few of them, I mean, they're going to offer you an amount to like pull out and just accept that like amount. I think that's the way you can win a lot of times on those longer parlays.
Yep.
I've done that many a times on MLS ones where I'm like, up won $20 off of a $1 bet. It might be time to bail.
Well, we're not promoting gambling on the show.
Nope. We're just simply talking.
Yes, we're just discussing.
To answer
things.
Manny's question, Chase Adams debuts against Chicago.
Yeah, that'll be exciting. And I saw also, I think Connor said, do we make Herrera permanent this year? You got to say, you don't think so? All right, sorry, I didn't mean. I thought everyone would just immediately agree.
I think we go through one more loan, which is this one, and then we make it permanent.
But the loan is up in the middle of the season again. We re-upped it last summer. Remember, he didn't end up playing for like one game because the loan was up, and we didn't get the deal.
He's right. He's right.
So we would have to do it. I don't know if you're that team. Would you be willing to do it one more time?
Well,
like we're taking it back.
Well, I'm saying we go through this loan spell this year.
So you mean by this summer?
Yeah, and then we make it permanent.
So we would make it permanent by the summer.
Yeah,
probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I meant.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. I thought you meant we're going to do another one, and I was like, I don't think the other team's going to go. I forget who that team is, but I don't know if they would go through with it. Yeah, they'd be like, okay, clearly he's valuable enough. Somebody else will take him.
Yeah. All right, boys. That's that. Great getting back into it. Obviously, new year, new stuff coming to the show for sure. Thank you, ChatGPT, for everything that you're going to do for us this year.
AI integration.
And really quick before we head on out of here, merch store obviously still set up. QR code top right hand of your screen. Go ahead and scan that to get our merch store. We also have membership tiers, talking early access to episodes, bonus reaction pods, possible monthly Q&As, possible Discord channel, etc. So you just got to iron out some details. Higher tiers get you exclusive merch, giveaways, maybe special appearances on the show, match preview, emails, any other things that we discuss and whatnot. But yeah, and I think that is pretty much it. Thank y'all for tuning in. Obviously, without the support of you guys, we would not be here. And yeah, you guys can follow us on social media on Twitter at WisemenPod, on Blue Sky at WisemenPod.bsky.social. You guys can follow Gerald on social media
at Gerald_Lucas96.
You guys can follow Derek on social media
at Funky Moses 17. I'm gonna try to get into Blue Sky a little more this year too.
Yeah, same. You guys can follow me on social media at Fisher Tyler __. And that just about does it. I can't remember what else I say, but
preseason form.
Preseason form. We'll talk more about stuff coming from camp in Florida next week. And Gerald, my friend, as tradition goes, Wisemen say,
only fools rush in.
Peace out, everybody. Have a good week. Stay safe, stay hydrated, stay cool. Hug your loved ones, and go Crew.
Go Crew.
Stay wise, y'all, and stay warm.
Yeah, because it's supposed to be like 13 degrees on Saturday. When I go to the hockey game on Saturday, and it's supposed to be freezing cold. My
Those
word.
are the worst.
Yeah, I know,
Talk
right?
about
It's terrible.
Talk about stay cool, stay warm.
I meant like stay cool. Like, guys, we're cool, bro. Just stay cool. Peace out, everybody. Have a good one. And yeah, go Crew.